What's the difference between a real bottom signal and a bull trap? Can you tell? How do we trade at a time like this? Well, let's talk about it, but what happened today? I mean, on Friday, everyone was panicking, scared, selling everything, and today, suddenly, it's all fine, it's all miraculously resolved, and we see a very good reaction just as the SPY and QQQ are touching our first area of support around the 21-day EMA, the exponential moving average on the daily chart. What a funny coincidence, right? But before I forget, my name is Nathan and welcome to another daily study here in the Finance Hydra channel, where you receive every single day unbiased, professional, and straightforward analysis. Now, yes, we see a fantastic reaction. This reaction is insane. We are not only rejecting Friday's bearish candle, which was very bearish, closing below the 21-day EMA, but we see the SPY closing above the 21-day EMA right now today, and we just closed this gap over here around 631. All right, which is a technical resistance level. We see many resistance levels short-term wise, like the 626, the previous top here, top here, top here, support here, top here, now support here again today. We have the 21-hour EMA, which right now SPY is breaking it, and we have the 631, the gap resistance level. So now, if you ask me, Nathan, how can we tell if today is going to be a real bottom signal or a bull trap? Just another short-term pullback to retest this resistance area before another collapse. Okay, what's the difference? How can we tell? First, guys, right now it's too soon to tell. Okay, with only today's reaction is still too soon. On the medium term, on the daily chart, we do see a bottom signal, all right? We are retesting this resistance level, okay? So that's a point of attention. So if tomorrow we see a bearish reaction to the point of closing below today's low, below the 21-day EMA, below this double support level, losing again the 626, we know it's a bear trap. Okay, that's gonna be a bear trap because we are not gonna only reject the idea of a bottom signal on the daily chart above this support level, but on the weekly chart, there is still the idea of a top signal over here. Last week we saw this bearish engulfing candle pattern, okay? So if we see this pattern getting triggered this week by losing last week's low, we're gonna have more confirmation of a medium-term bearish reversal, suggesting a sharper pullback on the weekly chart, possibly at least to the 613, but if you ask me, the 21 weekly moving average is going to be our next technical target, okay? We could see a sharper correction for a few weeks until we reach this support level, all right? It all depends on how the SPY is going to behave right here, right now that we closed this gap. If we lose, again, the double support level, the triple support level made by today's low, 21-day EMA, 626 on the 1-hour chart, by losing this triple support level in two different time frames, short and medium term wise, we could see a bull trap. Okay, that's the key point for you, all right? That's the key point I'm revealing to you over here. You gotta pay attention to it because if we lose it, you know, it's gonna be a bearish reversal now. But Nathan, what if this is a bottom signal? In order for it to be a bottom signal, we gotta stay above the 613 again tomorrow, okay? In order to confirm, in order to close above today's high and materialize this bottom signal, This bottom signal has a name, okay? I forgot the name of this candle. I'm so sorry, guys. I totally forgot. It is a stronger variation of an above the stomach, okay? An above the stomach candle pattern opens near the middle point of the bearish candle. In this case, today's open was near Friday's open, okay? So it's even stronger than an above the stomach. Either way, guys, it is a bullish candle. It is a technically known bottom signal, which is statistically plausible, okay? So the key inflection point is near the 630. We gotta stay above this resistance level tomorrow in order to confirm a bottom signal, in order for this to be just another pullback to the 21-day EMA. And guys, after all, that's what SPY has been doing, okay? We are still in a medium-term uptrend. We are making higher highs, higher lows above the 21-day EMA. Now that we are retesting this support level again, we are trying to react. That's not surprising at all. So it does make sense to see the continuation of this uptrend in the next few days, unless if we see the confirmation of a bull trap by losing the key points I just described to you. Okay, so if you ask me, yes, we could avoid a sharper correction. We are still above our triple inflection point on the daily and hourly charts, and we have yet to trigger this top signal. Okay, maybe this top signal is not gonna be triggered at all. Maybe the SPY will keep going up to close above last week's high, completely rejecting the idea of this top signal, just like it did over here, over here, over here, and over here again, okay? So right now, we gotta pay attention to these key points, okay? 630 area, 626, only the breakout of one of these key points will bring something new on the SPY ETF. All of our strategies must be adjusted to the event of a breakout in any direction, okay? Regardless of the direction, all right? We gotta be prepared for any possible scenario. That's what we do every single day over here, right? I share possibilities with you guys. I share the key inflection points that could bring a reversal or a continuation, and we gotta adjust our strategies to these events, okay? Remember, real trading is reactive. It is not predictive. Nathan, what's the direction of the next breakout? I don't know. I don't need to know in order to trade well, in order to be a consistently profitable trader, okay? We just gotta react to what we see, picking the right stocks at the right time. Now, the QQQ is also reacting nicely above the 21-day EMA, above the 560, all right, which was our previous resistance level. Now we just closed this gap over here, $563.87, which is precisely our resistance level today, okay? It is near today's high. So, all right, again, if the QQQ wants to maintain the bullish bias, we gotta see the breakout of this red line as soon as possible. However, the loss of today's low, along with this 21-day EMA, would trigger a possible bear trap. All right, it is going to frustrate, it is going to invalidate the idea of a bottom signal on the daily chart on the QQQ as well. So guys, 563, 558. These are the two key inflection points for us to monitor from here in the next few days. And we see Nvidia reacting phenomenally well, making a bottom signal above our support area, above the 21-day EMA, above the 174. Unlike the SPY, QQQ, this one never lost the 21-day EMA since we started our rally in April this year, okay? We are still way above our 21-day EMA. We are not making any bearish reaction, any possible top signal. However, I do understand that if Nvidia makes a new lower high, lower low on the 1 hour chart, losing the 174 area, losing this key point over here on the daily chart along with today's low again, well, it is going to possibly confirm a bearish reversal on the daily chart. Losing the 21-day MA, in this case, we could easily retest lower levels like the 165 or maybe even the 152. The previous top level here, support level here, possible support level in the future if we see a sharper correction. 152, remember, the 152 is also very close to the 21 weekly moving average. Okay, we are very close to it right now as well. So if Nvidia confirms a top signal right here from last week, this gravestone doji candle pattern, if we confirm it by losing the key points on the daily chart over here, okay, we may see the confirmation of a top signal suggesting a pullback on the weekly chart. In this case, yes, the 152 is going to be our next major target with a secondary support level near the 165. That's how I see Nvidia right here, right now. And up until a few days ago, guys, with all the turbulence of earnings season, Federal Reserve, tariffs, etc., it was quite difficult to find good opportunities. It was still possible, yes, but difficult. This always happens when we come across more turbulent times like this one. Nothing unusual for us, but whenever turbulent times end, easier times follow. And now the market is getting easier again, if you ask me. The risk-reward ratio on many stocks is starting to improve, such as Nvidia, Tesla, and others. Okay, and speaking of Tesla over here, we do see a very nice reaction. Okay, it is interesting, and this one is on my personal radar. Okay, as we have an interesting signal, and again with a good risk-reward ratio. It's incredible that just today, in my study so far, I have seen 10 stocks giving great signals with an excellent risk-reward ratio, and I share these signals and trading strategies with the members of our Telegram community. So guys, remember, only there you will receive firsthand the best swing trading opportunities I find, and you will trade with me in practice with real life experience. You can test our service for free. No strings attached, just to see if you like it. The 5% project has been active for over 2 years now, helping traders, hundreds of traders, to trade professionally in order to make consistent profits. So again, join our community of hundreds of winning traders. The link to my website is in this video's description. Take a look over there, see if you like what we have to offer. Now, yes, Tesla is one of the 10 stocks that I have on my radar today. Maybe I'm gonna share the trading signal with you guys on our Telegram channel if I don't see anything better, because nice reaction, a possible false breakout of this support line. Today we see a very nice doji candle pattern, okay, above this purple trend line. We are still inside this triangle, this symmetrical triangle chart pattern. It was a very treacherous move, okay, very treacherous move over here, but right now we are recovering. So maybe Tesla could be a very nice buying opportunity again. It is on my personal radar. I do see Tesla recovering nicely if we see the indices recovering as well, because it has high beta. Okay, beta 1.69. It is decreasing. It was higher in the past, but still, Tesla, Tesla is still vulnerable to many geopolitical systemic risks, so we gotta pay attention to this, all right? In times like this, I prefer to trade low beta stocks, all right? I always recommend low beta stocks on our Telegram channel, okay? Always. Unfortunately, Nvidia, Tesla, AMD, Palantir, these are not low beta, these are high beta, so they are more difficult to trade when we see the SPY collapsing, QQQ collapsing, but still maintaining the bullish bias. Or when they are far away from their support levels, it is more difficult, all right? But we can always find good opportunities. And speaking of AMD, this one, high beta stock, reporting earnings tomorrow, okay? The volatility will increase, will certainly increase. Now, what's the catch over here? We are trading around a key inflection point near the 174. Last week, we saw this double top chart pattern on the 1 hour chart. We triggered this pattern. Now we are trying to recover. We are trying to reject this top signal. So, okay. However, the rejection point is around 182.30. As long as we don't break 182.30, AMD is not going to reject the idea of a top signal yet. If we see AMD exploding after earnings, fantastic. That's going to be amazing. The 200s is our next major resistance level. However, what if the inverse happens? I see AMD collapsing to one of our next support levels. First one, we have the 21-day EMA. Second one, in the worst case scenario, if we see a huge, extremely insane collapse, okay, 147. That's gonna be our next support level, okay? For now, let's just wait. AMD is not a good trading, it is not offering us any good trading opportunity yet precisely because of earnings, okay, tomorrow. So for swing trading purposes, I do not like to hold stocks during earnings report. Nathan, what about hold this stock for long-term investing? Okay, in this case, you can hold, but you have your strategy, okay? I see many people buying things saying that it is for the long term, and then when their stocks collapse, they panic, okay? They panic, they want to sell, they just cry about it, okay? Guys, if you have a long-term idea, you gotta be prepared for volatility, okay? For crazy movements like this. If you wanna do swing trade, okay, that's a different story. It requires more patience because we gotta wait for a clear signal in this case, all right? For now, there is no clear signal. We still see AMD near a critical inflection point, not giving us any clear signal, okay? So for now, AMD, if you ask me, is just an opportunity to wait, okay? Let's wait. Let's test our patience, all right? After the materialization of a pullback or of an explosion, then we'll see if AMD could be a buy or sell, etc. Right now, for swing trading purposes, it is not for me. I see way better stocks over there, all right? AMD is not on my personal radar at all, not right now. I can't put it on my radar, not before earnings report. It is just like Palantir, okay? Before earnings report, it is too difficult to tell how Palantir is going to behave, okay? It is impossible to tell. But right now, after earnings, we see Palantir flying 4% in the post market. It already went up 4% during the day. So, okay, fantastic. We saw this kind of rectangle chart pattern on the 1 hour chart, okay? Now Palantir is breaking this pattern upwards. I already told you guys I see no clear target for Palantir right now, but guys, since we are at all-time highs over here, and since we do not see any major reversal point on Palantir, this one is supposed to fly and seek higher levels. It is right now in the post market around 166, 166, roughly 167, okay? So it is roughly right here, right? It is roughly right here around this green line up here, okay? 166, 167, fantastic. Now, what's the next major inflection point for Palantir? If you ask me, the 200s. Why? Because it is a round number, a psychological resistance level. Okay, so that's where I see Palantir next, regardless if we are gonna see a pullback or not. Maybe Palantir will correct again over the next few days, right? Back to the 160 or maybe even to the 150s again. Still, Palantir is performing very well. Even if we see pullback, that's not gonna be enough to ruin the medium-term uptrend. And this is valid, guys. This is valid for SPY, which is still in a medium-term uptrend, okay? In spite of the recent collapse over here, QQQ also in a medium-term uptrend, Nvidia insanely bullish, Tesla is not. Okay, Tesla is more like sideways inside a triangle chart pattern, but all of these stocks, even if a pullback, a sharper correction happens, they would still maintain their uptrends. And so, guys, when we are in an uptrend, pullbacks are buying opportunities. Okay, so I see all these stocks as possible buy if we see a good bottom signal and a good risk-reward ratio on them, all right? And we see SoFi. This one, fantastic. Okay, it is the kind of stock that I like very much because we made a sideways correction over here, right? Back to our support level, retesting the 21-day EMA, which is right now very close to the 20.74. And we see SoFi reacting. Today's candle is a hammer candle pattern. Friday's candle was a hammer as well. So we see two bottom signals above a double support level. If you say to me, Nathan, I want to buy SoFi, go for it. This is not an advice, of course, but if you want to buy SoFi, why is buying SoFi a technically good idea for some people, okay? Some people, not everyone, but a few individuals, because we are near a support level, all right? So any stop loss should be below this double support area. We have a clear target around $25. So, okay, yes, if you want to buy here, aim around the $25, set a stop loss below this double support level, fantastic. This makes perfect sense. The risk-reward ratio is optimized. Even if you are wrong, you are risking one single candle. You are going to lose, your loss is going to be small. If you nail a bottom signal, fantastic. Your win is going to be very nice. Your win outweighs your potential loss. So that's the kind of trade we like to do every single day in our Telegram channel, for instance. In fact, I did recommend SoFi on our Telegram channel this year only once, here on May 22. Why? Because we were near this double support level made by the 21-day EMA and this purple trend line, okay? And right now we are again above a double support level. So hey, I'm not saying it is a buy, but maybe to some people, not investment advice, it could be a good buying opportunity. Okay, if you work strategically, if you have a stop loss, if you have a target in mind, if you know how to optimize your trade, amazing. You are in the right path. I am no one to disagree with you. And by the way, if you want to keep in touch with my daily analysis, remember, subscribe to this channel for more content like this, because here I share with you guys, again, the most important inflection points for our stocks, our most important support levels, resistance levels. We talk about strategies. I teach you guys how to identify the most important reactions in the market every single day. We are here every single day, so subscribe and click the like button to support this channel as well, because your like means a lot. Trust me, it means a lot. It is extremely important, so please click the like button if you like our content, alright? Now, yes, that's a very nice idea, okay? It is an idea, just sharing, alright? Not a device, just sharing. It does make sense because SoFi looks very nice, amazing, risk-reward relationship. That's it. Now, Google is looking fantastic as well. We saw a false breakout of this support level, right? We barely touched our 21-day EMA, and right now we are recovering again. On the 1-hour chart, we saw a false breakout of this double top chart pattern, so Google is trying to reject the idea of a top signal. Now, could this be a bull trap? Yes. However, we gotta reject today's candle completely, losing today's low, losing the 191 again. Only then I'll be more convinced about a sharper pullback, possibly to retest the support line of this ascending channel. And remember, Google is inside an ascending channel. It is still maintaining the bullish bias. So in theory, any pullback to this support level could be just another buying opportunity, just like we saw an opportunity over here, over here, over here, and possibly over here again, okay? So Google looks phenomenal. I told you guys here on this channel that by breaking this 181, we could see fantastic pivot point, right? And this scenario materialized with such an astonishing precision, okay? We just retested this resistance level, so now it is no surprise to see Google losing momentum, okay? Because we are just below a very important resistance level, but I do understand that if Google breaks the 197 again, we may see another bullish pivot point, a kind of bullish flag as well, right? Maybe, right? Maybe. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but this breakout could make Google fly to much higher levels again. So guys, 197 and 191. These are the most important inflection points on Google from here. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this channel every single day, so remember, subscribe and join the 5% project if you wanna keep in touch with our trades. If you wanna learn how to trade in practice with us, you are more than welcome to join our community. Thank you so much for your audience, my dear friends. Stay safe. See you guys tomorrow.